Hey, what's up, everybody? Marcos Villegas being joined with former world champion at 140 pounds, Regis Prograis, who returns to the ring coming up March 19th in Dubai against Tyronne Mckenna. Regis, thank you for joining us. It's been a while since fans have seen you in the ring. I would imagine that you've been antsy, really anxious to get back in there and be active again.
Of course, bro. Listen, bro. I'm always nonstop training, bro. The only time I don't train is when I travel, But when I'm at home, I'm just nonstop training. So yeah, I've been antsy, just like you said, and I'm ready, and I'm glad that I have a fight date and I can train for something now.
What's taken so long for you to get a fight? We last saw you in that fight with Ivan Redcatch, which was kind of weird how it ended, given what Ivan did. But what's been the wait? What's been the holdup?
I don't know. It feel like I be talking to my manager stuff like that. I just kind of got like, what's the right deal? Where should I go? And it was a lot of talks. Of course, we was in talks with PBC and all that stuff. And I don't know what happened with that, but they told me about Probellum, and they told me three things I want to hear. They told me, I'll fight for a world title again in 2022. I will stay active this year, 2022. I will stay active, and I'm gonna fight all around the world. So, you told me those three things, and it was like, all right, where do I sign? This is something I want, especially for me. The stay active part is the most important thing. Of course, all the rest of them is important, being a champion. But I train all the time, and I just want to be active. And they told me I'll be active, and that's why I signed with them.
Yeah, especially now because you're in your prime. Because if you look at the past 2 years, you've only had two fights in 2 years, and I know one of those years was COVID. Obviously, no one really fought, no one was really active. But someone like you, man, you can't let go of those years. You don't want to turn into like a Gary Russell Jr. where you're just fighting like once a year.
Exactly. I'm not in it for that. I'm in it to stay active. That's what I want to do. I want to stay active. I want to be active champion. I want to be a champion again and then be active. I don't want to just sit on the sidelines and do nothing. I want to be active.
Now, with this opponent, Tyronne Mckenna, I guess a lot of fans are used to hearing the name Regis Prograis and either a world champion or a number one, number two ranked contender. So Mckenna, like, I guess a lot of fans are wondering, like, why are you going into this fight with the Mckenna?
That's what they gave me. It's not for me. It's not my fault. I want to fight whoever. Like, for me, I said, listen, anybody at 140, I'll fight anybody at 140. I don't care. Like, I'm going to be a champion again. And so nothing is standing in my way at 140. Like, nothing is going to stand in my way of being a champion again. So whoever. So if that's the name they gave me, I guess so. It is what it is, right? But it's not, I don't care. I don't care who I fight. I don't care about that. And of course, like, we were supposed to, the other thing is, me and Mikey was supposed to fight. That was supposed to be a big fight. That's what I was really waiting on. I was waiting on me and Mikey to fight, and then he took the tune-up with Sandor Martin, and he lost. So that kind of messed up a lot of things. But I think that was the fight that was a big fight that was supposed to happen, and that didn't happen. So I guess the backup plan is Mckenna.
When you were watching that fight and when they announced the decision, were you like, oh, like, did you just like, God?
What? I was like, bro, no. I was like, it just slipped out my hand. I was like, no, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, my Twitter, I was blowing up my Twitter. Like, I was just cursing and all kind of stuff because it just messed up so much for me. I talked to Mikey. I'm actually, I'm kind of cool with Mikey, so I talked to him and stuff about it. And we was in Vegas together. He was like sitting right behind me at the Devin Haney fight. And so we was talking about it and stuff. And I was like, damn, Mike, you messed it up for us, bro. Like, we supposed to have a big fight. You messed it up. And, but he was like, man, I kind of know what happened. He overlooked him. That's what happens. You can't overlook nobody. He overlooked the dude. He didn't know nothing about him. He overlooked him. And that's what happens when you overlook these opponents, because same thing with me. I'm fighting Tyronne Mckenna, and, he might not be high on a lot of people's list, but I can't overlook this dude because this is a target is on my back. And this is his biggest fight ever. This is his biggest fight he ever had. So, he's gonna do everything. His coaches, his trainers, they're gonna be in training camp, killing themselves and doing everything they can, because listen, he beats me. We just found out that this will be for the eliminator, basically. So the next fight will be for a belt again. So if he beats me, he can be in line for a world title shot next, right? The fight right after that, So I can't go overlooking nobody, and I gotta keep doing what I gotta do.
Well, that's crazy that Mikey fight is what's spurring you to not go into this fight with like less than top motivation? Because I was also thinking about this same thing too. Like, what does McKenna do for Regis in terms of like getting you up, of really like getting those competitive juices going, and you training an extra 10% that maybe like a Josh Taylor rematch would give you, or maybe like a Gervonta Davis or a Mikey Garcia?
I mean, it's just that, man. I can't. For me, listen, I'm not even like, to be honest, bro. It's a stepping stone for me. I'm not gonna lie. I want to be. I told everybody I want to be a world champion again. 140, 2-time world champion. Right now, that's my goal. Maybe even 3-time world champion, whatever. But right now, my goal is to become a 2-time champion at 140. So it's not even the person. He's not even a name. He's not even a face right now. He's just somebody I gotta get past to become a world champion. You know that. So that's my motivation. It's not really him. It's that my motivation is, to become a champion again.
How's that been, not being a champion for you personally, like in terms of just who you identify yourself as? Has it been hard, like seeing Taylor with the belt and talks of him maybe fighting Terrence Crawford and all these other opportunities going his way?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, it was like, it's been kind of like up and down. Like, as far as on a boxing level, it does aggravate me a little bit that I'm not a champion. But I didn't cherish it. I'm not gonna lie, bro. When I won, I was a world champion. I was number one in the world, a super champion, world champion. And I didn't even cherish it. Like, I didn't. It was like, all right, whatever. I didn't care about it, So now it feels like I'm really working towards being a champion. Like, at first, it wasn't like I became a champion and I was number one in the world, and I was just like, whatever. It didn't faze me. But now it feels like when you don't have something, that's when you appreciate it more. Like, right. So if you break up with your girl and stuff, like, that's when you appreciate her cooking more. It's like, damn, I want that back. Right. So that's kind of how it is with me. Like, I want that back. But when I had it, I didn't even care about it. It was like, all right, whatever. It was like, it was another day.
And that's so true on so many levels in life. Like, you go to like these fights and like you don't really like get to appreciate everything because you're so busy at the fights, and just with everything in general. That's so true, that we go through so many things in life and we don't really just kind of sit back, take it all in, and just like realize, like, be in the moment. And especially with you, like, just realize like, wow, I did this. I'm a world champion. I have these belts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how it was, bro. Like, I mean, I won. I won the championship. I won it in my home state, and it was like a big deal for everybody. And I was just like, for me, it was just like another day. Like, I wasn't even worried about it. I didn't care. It was just a whole another night for me. It was another day, and I didn't even realize like what I done, what I had to do. Like, I was the first world champion from New Orleans in like 56 years or something like that. And I just didn't even realize. I didn't even care about it. It was like, all right, what's next? I didn't even, for me, I didn't care about it. So, like, now that's how I am. It's like you just I appreciate what I did more now. So I want to do it right now. I'm training harder to become a 2-time world champion.
Have they told you this next fight for what organization it would be in, that you would be
WBC?
WBC mandatory. So obviously, Josh Taylor holds the belt, so you'd be mandated to have that rematch, which a lot of people have been wanting to see because of how great of a fight the first one was when you went over there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if that happens, if that's the case, or what I'm hearing, he might actually go up. He might go up to 147, and then the belts will be vacant. So, then I'll, become a world champion again like that, or fight him again. So, I mean, it all depends on what he wants to do. I talked to him personally. We was in Dubai together, and I think his plan is to go up to 147. So, if it happens like that, then it just happens like that. But of course, I feel like me and him have to have a rematch down the line. We just, we have to have a rematch.
Did you tell him like, don't move up, we have to have a rematch? Like, how did you take that when he told you like, hey, I'm going to move it to 147?
Well, he told me he can stay at 140. He was like, I don't have trouble making weight at 140, but he was like, everything is, he just wants to go up and get bigger fights, I guess, So, I mean, I didn't tell him stay down or nothing like that. I didn't even tell him really. I don't think I talked about my plans. We talked about just regular stuff like family. We didn't even talk about boxing too much, just regular life stuff basically. And yeah, just we'll see what he does. But I think most likely, pretty sure after this he'll go ahead and go to 147.